When I was little, I lived on 54th and 7th, and I would sit in the windowsill and I would look out at a view exactly like this. If by exactly like this, I mean another person's bathroom. And I would dream of one day being on Broadway. My love and obsession and want for Broadway was so huge, and as you might imagine, made me extremely popular with the other children. No, it did not.
From my earliest memories, I knew I wanted to be an actress. From my earliest memories. My earliest memories are singing. And I remember being really, really small because I was standing on the couch and the lamp was still taller than me. My favorite composer is Stephen Sondheim. He's been my favorite composer since I was, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, 5 years old. I had like a weird sort of awkward obsession with him that resulted in like not a lot of friends my own age. The fact that it wasn't just pretty music or pretty words, it was complicated and interesting. And my mom is my voice teacher and always was, and her studio was in our home. So when I took piano lessons, I would go downstairs and like plunk out the notes from the huge Stephen Sondheim, anthology that my mom had. And I remember playing I Remember Sky, da 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 da. And I remember it blowing my little tiny mind. I was like, I remember sky. Imagine what it must be like for somebody who doesn't get to experience the world and how sad that is. I've done a lot of revivals and I've played a lot of parts that other people have played, iconic people have played. And I always try to approach it like it's never been done before. I focus on what the character wants, the obstacles in the character's way. So often what a character wants is what we all want, which is to be loved and seen for who we are. And so I feel like that can be a struggle that always resonates with people.
When I did The Sound of Music, the first time I ever went on, I was 18 years old, and Rebecca Luker, who I was understudying, yes, isn't she amazing? I could not have had a better role model than Rebecca Luker. She taught me how to be a professional, and then I promptly forgot it all. Anyway, so she went on vacation for 2 weeks, which meant I got to go on, and I was absolutely terrified. We would run down the hill, and then the hills are alive, and put your arms over your head in the iconic Julie Andrews pose. And I just remember seeing my arms shaking in the reflection of the spotlight, and then I could not get my arms down for the entire song. I was absolutely terrified.
I learned at a pretty young age, pretty early on, that it's impossible to please everyone. And if I am pleasing everyone, then I'm being disingenuous with someone. So the only person that I owe anything to is this character. In terms of excitement versus fear, I feel like they're just different sides of the same coin. And I try to reframe nervousness and fear and to turn it into excitement. For me, I'm only nervous about something if it means a lot to me. And if something means a lot to me, I know ultimately it's going to be fun. I'm kind of a silly person, and I can sort of skate by in life with like making jokes about things and then not really having to experience whatever real feeling is happening. So to sort of dig deep into the scarier, harder emotions, especially in front of other people, it's nerve-wracking, but I would imagine for the audience interesting. And for me as a performer, the only way to grow, to really crack yourself open and dig around and see what's in there.